Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so happy you decided to come and check your girl out on today. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And if you have subscribed and forgot to hit the notification button, baby, what's the problem? Hit the notification button so that you can get all my new videos. More so than that, be sure to like and share. Today we're going to be touching on a little bit of who I am. Of course, you've seen the title, so you already know what it's about. And of course, my channel is called Keeping It Real with Marquita. So I'm going to take you a little bit into my life so you can get to understand me a little bit better, why I do the things that I do, the reason I am the way I am. And so don't forget to share. Please don't forget to comment. My email address is below in the description. So like always, you can send me an email if you want me to pray for you, if you just want to dialogue, ask some questions, whatever falls on your heart. I'm here for that. So, of course, the title is 15 and Pregnant. And yes, I'm talking about myself, 15 and pregnant. My life changed drastically in 1996. I was at school, y'all ladies know Aunt Flo come faithfully. I've always been a woman who is faithful, is very faithful. So I'm like, wait, something ain't right or what have you. So I go, and back in these days, I'm talking about back in these days, like I'm 50 or 60. But back when I was in school, you could go to the clinic within the school to get a checkup, if you just didn't feel good, and of course to do a pregnancy test. And so that's where my pregnancy test was done at. I had my pregnancy test done. It was a Friday. I remember going home feeling relieved. She said, it was negative. And I just went home like, thank you, Jesus, or what have you. But that evening, she called me and said that she think a faint line showed up after I left. And I'm like, oh my God, you can't be serious. Keep in mind, at this time, my mom, nobody knew I even thought I was pregnant. Nobody knew anything. I was just knowing my body and knew that something wasn't right. The reason I went and had this test done. So on Monday morning, I go back to the clinic, get the test done again, and just as sure as my name is Marquita, the test was positive. I was pregnant at 15 years old. That changed my life. And for anybody who's against abortion, anybody who's against teenage pregnancy, that is your thing. You are entitled to feel how you feel, think how you think. And my mom's initial response was, you can't keep this baby. You cannot keep this baby. Your life is going to be changed forever. My mama was like, you should consider an abortion. You're 15 years old. And I had wanted to go to the military. I had always wanted to go to the Navy. And here I was about to give birth to a child at 15 years old. And I made the decision myself to keep my baby. Because I have always been a person, if you do it, it's your responsibility. Period, point blank. And everybody is entitled to that thing. If you had decided to have an abortion, that's on you. Whatever you do is between you and God. No sin is no greater than the other. Me getting pregnant outside of marriage ain't no worse than somebody having an abortion. I don't know how come we try to label and put it into categories, but we cannot. Sin is sin. And so here I was, a young mother, not married, at home, in high school. And so life changed. Here I was having to be responsible for another person. So my mama made me find a way to my doctor's appointments, found a way to get care once my daughter was born, found a way to take her to her appointments. She made sure I understood that is your child. That is your baby, and you're going to take care of it. So my baby was born in September, and I'm quite sure y'all have seen her on the videos with me before. That is Riri. She was born in September. One of the best babies ever. When I say a great baby, she was just a great baby. A great toddler. She just has always been a great child. And so, for the longest, I would not speak on my age, I guess, in a way. I say that to say, because I felt like when I was like, just say, for instance, if I was 25. If I was 25 and I told somebody I got a 10-year-old, they go, oh, man, wait, hold. You had her when you 10. You had her when you was 15. And it brought so much shame. It made me feel so bad. So for the longest, I would not talk about it. I would not. And when the first time I really, really started to talk about it is when my kids got older. And they started to connect the dots. And they was like, well, mama, on mama's birthday, she finna be this age. But Riri is this age. And when I had to sit down and have that conversation hurt me. It honestly hurt me. I felt like, man, I was finally having to face what I did at 15 years old. I was finally having to speak that thing out of my mouth that I didn't want to speak on because I was so ashamed, you know. And the blessings of God carries no shame, but the behavior is where the shame comes. But there's nobody perfect, you know. So I had to talk to my kids, and they was like, Mom, you was 15? And I'm like, yes, I was 15 years old when I became the mother of another life. You know, and you have people who walk around judging, making people feel like they can't be great, making people feel like their life is over, making people feel like they have to choose one way or the other, and that is so not true. You don't have to choose one way or the other. You just got to do what is right for you. You have people looking down their nose at people like myself who was 15 and pregnant and at the doctor's office and this, that, and the other, and carrying school books and in a uniform, because at that time I went to school where you had to wear a uniform, so they knew I was in school, and here I am with a belly in front of me. But you got people who take their children to the abortion clinics and never tell anybody. You have people who daughters get pregnant and they send them off to school, and when the baby's born they give them up for adoption. You cover your shame and then you judge my shame. You cover your children's shame or your sister's shame or your mom's shame or dad's shame, and then you shame everybody else. That's not right. That's not fair. And I'm just here to say, everybody got to walk their own walk. God is gracious. I have lived a great life. I don't feel like having my baby at 15 changed my life so drastically. Yes, I had to do some things differently. Can't go out, you know, don't know what it is to really be a teenager and embrace that season. Couldn't go off to college. Of course, it reshaped things for the military, so I didn't get to do that because there was so many legal documentations that would have came along with leaving her here while I went off to college, or while I went off to the military. And so I had to go a longer way around to get to a place that I could have been at if I wouldn't have had a baby at 15 years old. But because God is so gracious, my life was still good. You know, I still felt like I didn't miss out on anything. I still feel like she was the best thing that ever happened to me. I still feel like she was the thing that probably kept me grounded and had me to grow up and had me to think about somebody else other than myself. And so we have to learn to be okay with our mistakes. We have to learn to understand that God is not a God of condemnation. It's people. It's the enemy. And for the young ladies who have made a bad decision, who may be a teen mom or may be pregnant currently, or your baby's maybe a toddler now and you still trying to learn how to wrap your mind around, I am really a teenage mom. I just want you to know that God loves you. It ain't nothing that you can do that's so bad that he will not bless you and allow you to walk into your purpose. Do not get me wrong. Decisions will delay, but decisions does not equip. It does not mean that because I did this, that's the end. No, that's not what it means. Because God is just that good. You know, and the Bible tells us he who is without sin cast the first stone. Nobody has room to talk about anybody, but the way you allow people to make you feel bad about your decisions is because you feel bad about your own decisions too. You feel bad about your sins. You feel bad about your shortcomings. You feel bad about who you are as a person. And that's who I was. If somebody said something about me being a teenage mom, it did something to me. It done something to me. And it was because I wasn't okay with that thing myself. But when you become okay with that thing, people can't hurt you in that area. People can't make you feel guilty in that area. Because one thing we know for sure, is God is a forgiving God. And God throws our mistakes in the sea of forgetfulness. So you don't have to worry about God saying, here you go. You done something else. He's not that kind of God. He loves unconditionally. He's not a God of judgment. And so when people around here condemning you, those are not people who are operating in the love of God, because that's not who he is. Nobody can talk about anybody else. Nobody. So if you find yourself in a season where you just having to be responsible for another life, in a season of life where you probably feel like yourself, I shouldn't even be here, embrace it. Allow God to use it to do whatever it is he want to do through you. And I wish I would have started speaking on this a long time ago, but you have to do things in a season first. And second of all, you have to make peace in order to operate fully in it and be effective. So as much as I wish I could have done it then, I don't even know how effective I would have been, because I was still so broken behind it. And if I honestly can tell you, I don't think if my kids would have ever started questioning if I would have ever really talked about it. But yes, 15 years old, a mother. Here I am, 39 years old. I feel like I raised her well. I feel like I sacrificed a lot to make sure she had a good life. I got a lot of criticism from people about the things I wouldn't let her do, the things I wouldn't let her experience. They felt like I was strict. And I think a lot of people thought by me being a young mom that I would be reckless. But when my mom made me take full responsibility for Arisha, that automatically meant I had to grow up and do everything I needed to do to make sure she had a great life, that she was a responsible young lady, that she had morals, that she loved God. And that's what I've done. And now, baby, I got 3 other kids after her, and Arisha just turned 23. I have a 19-year-old, I have a 17-year-old, and I have a 14-year-old. But they are in a season of their life now where they're a little older, where I can actually enjoy myself a little bit and not feel like I have to be so hands-on with them, because they are growing up to be their own adults and teenagers and preteens. And so as much as I had to sacrifice my younger life to give her and my other kids a good life, I am now looking at them and realizing that God used me to do a great thing. I did a lot of stuff wrong, because nobody is perfect, but I feel like God gave me peace with being okay with being a mom. Just being a mom, not feeling like I needed nothing else, like, oh, well, if I'm being a mom, how I'm going to do this, and if I'm being a mom, how I'm going to do that. I didn't carry that weight. And if you carry that weight, I'm praying that God will lift that weight, and you will learn to embrace motherhood as part of your life and not your life. Because I worked, I went to school, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't finish because I would drop when my kids needed me more, or they had activities and things I needed to be there for. I couldn't be 100% all in with school like I needed to, and so I didn't finish. I didn't finish college. I finished high school. So sometimes there will be some things that you have to put on hold because of decisions you make early on, but do not allow those decisions to dictate your future. Don't think that you can't live a great life because of a decision from 2 years ago, 2 months ago, 10 years ago. God is a God of grace and mercy and new beginnings. His mercy is new every single day. So I just want to encourage you to walk boldly, be courageous, stand in your truth, and love you. Love you, because when you love you, you put out better energy. When you love you, you're better able to love other people. And you don't have to think everybody is looking at you, judging you. You don't have to think everybody is looking at you with shame, because in your head, you ain't even thinking about that no more, because you done made peace with it. You may have to have somebody, I remember somebody brought it to my attention that somebody was jealous of me or felt some type of way about me. And because I was so at peace with where I was, I didn't even see it. But 9 times out of 10, we will see stuff that don't even exist because of where our mind's at. And sometimes we will see things that do exist and we connect with it, Because we are connecting with the fact that if they feel like this and I feel like that, then it gotta be true. But what the word say? What does the word of God say? God say, I am a God of love, a God of mercy, a God of forgiveness. And I don't care how many times God forgive you. If you don't forgive yourself, then it ain't gonna matter. It's not gonna matter, because as many times as he say, Marquita, I have forgiven you, baby. Let's move on. Let's do something else. Let's go into a new season. So I just want to encourage teen moms, young moms, divorced moms, single moms, whatever. I just want to encourage you to not feel shameful, to not be embarrassed, to not feel like this is it. This is all there is to it, because the devil is a liar. My daughter is a great, great young lady. Just as flawed and imperfect as all of us, she is a great, great young lady. And God has done a great job at helping me to be a great mom, even starting at 15 years old. So I pray that this video reach you well. I pray that this video strengthens you. I pray that you would share this video with other young ladies or teen moms who may need to hear it and be encouraged. I pray that you will take the time to use whatever mistake that you have done. Use it to build a whole different foundation, to take a different route, to do things different. Because one thing about mistakes, they are meant to teach us something. They're meant to grow us. They're meant to produce character. They're meant to show you this is what happens when you do this. The consequences, the reap what you sow. All of that is what it's for. But when you say, I've made this mistake, I'm going to own it, I'm going to walk in it, I'm going to forgive myself, I'm going to ask God for forgiveness, and I'm going to press forward, and I'm going to do the best that I can do with the help of the Lord moving forward. That's it. That's it. Give your children back to the Lord. Give your mind and your heart back to God. And if you're really not a spiritual person and so on and so forth, that is fine. Be as it may. But find a way to get peace, to release the weight of being a mom in whatever shape, fashion, or forms that bring you shame on some level. And know that I love you. Know that I'm praying for you. Know that I am here if you just need to talk via email, whatever. I am here to be a help. I am here to not allow the enemy to keep me quiet about my story and not bless some young lady in return. That is, God say, use your trials and tribulations that lead to testimony to bless his people. And so that's my only goal. My only goal is to reach a young lady, a woman who just needs to know it's going to be all right. The world does not dictate your future. The world can't give and the world can't take. God is the only one. So I pray that you put your life back in his hands. I pray that you will look at my life, and as I go forward and share more stories with you, that you will see the favor of God on my life and how great it's been to me despite my sex outside of marriage, despite my divorce, despite my many of things that I've done, and to see that he's still gracious and he still takes care of his children. So you all be blessed. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. We are just getting started, and this is the first video in the Keep It Real with Marquita, so stay tuned for that, because it's going to only get deeper, only get more personable. And I'm hoping as we talk in these Keep It Real with Marquita videos, that you will share information about yourself so I can get to know a little bit more about you as well. Have a great, 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 great day. Do something to make yourself smile. Say something kind to someone else. And of course, it's COVID time and you can't hug like we should be able to hug and embrace people. But nonetheless, send somebody an emoji kiss, emoji hug, or cash out for some lunch. Whatever it is, sometimes when we're going through, we just need to take our mind off ourselves and bless somebody else. And I've noticed when I do that, I'm not thinking about me, and it makes me feel better. So have a great day. I love you. Continue to pray for me as I pray for you. Have a good one.